Hello, my fellow Bromandians. Marcus Sensory has returned to bring another character study classroom based around the polarizing character, Yuno Gasai. Just as a heads up, this video will contain lots of spoilers for the anime Future Diary, so if you haven't seen it, go see it now. The entire show is available in both sub and sometimes dub on Hulu. You can also find the entire season subbed on Funimation's YouTube channel, as well as their website provided you have a subscription. As I mentioned in the previous video on Vash the Stampede, archetype reinforcement does not exactly have a good image here in my little corner of Bromandy. There are far too many characters that emulate true progression in the form of rehashing a repeated storyline set down as the default story of the archetype in question. The repetition of these characters is damn near painful at times, and hurts the anime community as the drive to watch more anime tapers off as you see cop-out character after cop-out character. This trope is a constant in anime, and rears its ugly head every season. Relentless tsundere-isms, emotionless danderes, hyperlogical kuderes, all of them have a presence in each anime, thus making them an incredibly base character. But there are some exceptions. Yuno Gasai is the textbook definition of a yandere. Just as a reference, a yandere is a character in anime that has two distinct personalities, usually with one being loving and caring and the other being psychotic or obsessive. With this definition in mind, it would seem clear that she's just another run-of-the-mill archetypical character. That would be where you're wrong. Yuno is special for a number of reasons. The first thing to keep in mind is that Yuno is not diluted by other archetype influences. An example of this is Yuki Nagato from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Yuki not only displays qualities typical of a yandere, but also of kuderes as well. This does not really happen with Yuno. There are no subtle tsundere subtexts, no classic kudere concepts. It is purely yandere. It is for this reason that Yuno is largely representative of the genre. Another portion of her character lies in knowing what you know by the end of the show. Knowing that she has already gone through the death game once really helps to clarify her extreme actions prior to the revelation of her previous participation. Yuno's over-the-top love for a spineless weakling is much easier to comprehend once you know that, in another universe, he was kind of a hard-ass who inspired this yandere love in Yuno. While any inference of the events not covered in the anime are groundless and thus irreconcilable with fact, it can be rightfully assumed that, since he was a badass and won the death game, he outsmarted and overpowered characters such as Ninth, the police, and the religious cult with nothing but Yuno by his side. All of that was basically to say that Yuno's character is not illogical in this department. While the Yuki we see is nowhere near endearing or inspiring, the show does provide us with a cover story for her fanatical love. The show starts with Yuno introducing herself to Yuki in the second world. She wastes no time showing her intense love, kissing Yuki before the first episode is over. As time goes by, however, the intense love she feels tends to push Yuki away. Here we see one of the more interesting facets of this anime and character. Despite alienating her love interest, despite horrifying him on multiple occasions, she nevertheless continues her erratic behavior. The interesting part of this is that she is, from the beginning, inherently flawed. She knows what she is doing is pushing him away, yet she continues to do so. This helps to reinforce her character as an original yandere. Another part of her character is that, unlike other yandere stereotypes, there is a method to her madness. Yuki. While other yandere seemingly just go crazy, she is always acting with Yuki's best interests in mind. Or at least what she thinks is Yuki's best interests. Her limitlessness towards protecting Yuki is extrapolated upon as the show continues. Early in the show, she blows up classrooms full of backstabbing classmates. She murders a renegade peacekeeper and a random orphanage proprietor. She kills some kid detective and corners Yuki into killing all of his friends. All of this further reinforces her desire for Yuki to live and be with her, all for her happy end. Finally, at the end of the show, we see the turbulent emotions Yuno feels. She goes through a number of feelings, such as not caring which Yuki she falls in love with, the fault in their love towards each other, and her disregard for the Yuki we've seen her love throughout the entire anime. All of these are, of course, lies. She does care about the second world's Yuki. She knows her feelings for him are real, and we know that she is forcing herself to kill Yuki rather than ambivalently ending a life to start a new one. These statements are, more or less, to rationalize what she's doing for herself. She's trying to show herself why her motivations are valid despite the feelings she knows she has. Thankfully it does not work, and the anime ends in the way we know it should have. Her recognizing and accepting the love she feels and giving up on her crazy schemes. All things considered, Yuno is a very strong character. Her uncompromising yandere-hood that follows through no matter what helps to show her character as a predictable one that does not stray into the realm of repetition. Also, the different portions of her character that separate her from her cardboard cutout counterparts assist her in her rise through the ranks of good characters. Moving on from the character study on Yuno, by the way, I would like to give you guys an update on Character Study Classroom's rating system. I have decided to sway from a normal regular rating system in order to form my own more interesting system. It's going to go a little something like this. 10 characters will be revealed and studied. I will go as in-depth as possible and try to talk about as many good things as possible in regards to those characters. Then, after all 10 have been thoroughly discussed, I will arrange them in order from 10 to 1. During the unveiling video, I will explain why some characters outstrip others, why some surpass others, and basically try to keep people from crucifying me for as long as possible. Now, there may be some of you who are worried. For instance, Crucius might be frightened that Yuno will be rated too low for her caliber of a character. It is for that reason that I say this. Don't worry, Yuno. I'll protect you.
At least you're not cutting your dick off and selling it on the street.
Well, I can't. It's already gone. I pressed down to scroll and everything went to shit. It shot right back up to the top of the page, and I was like, all of that is basically to say that the Yuno's character, I'm like an old person talking about Twitter. You seen the Twitter? It's like, kind of, actually. Oh, goodness. All right, anyway. Fuck yeah. Nowhere near as many bloopers. I didn't go Japanese, ever.
Aw, Pookie.